Welkom terug hier by die Groot Ontbyt. Dit is donderdag, wat vir my voel soos 'n maandag. Maar ons gaan nog 'n gas hê op die program. Iemand het gevra wat was ons vorige gas naam? Dit was Michael Louis, as jy hom wil gaan soek. Maar nou gesels ons met Robert Dos Santos, 'n filmmaker, en hy het 'n kortfilm gemaak, A Moment, maar hy het die LA Film Awards, dis en by Hollywood International het hy 'n toekenning gewen wat ongelooflik is. So, good morning, Robert.
Good morning, how are you?
Lovely, thank you for your time so early in the morning. I want to start, before we get to A Moment, I want to start with a moment with you and your background, because it's a fascinating story from a lawyer to making movies. But before you became a lawyer, just a little bit, where did you grow up, and the love for the visual part or movies or filmmaking, and why did you become a lawyer?
So, I grew up in Boksburg, in Johannesburg, and was born into a very uncreative family. My dad's an engineer and my mom works for NGOs. So to be honest, I have no idea where the spark of creativity came from. Perhaps just running around Boksburg looking for some things to do. And I've got a sense of justice and a sense to help the world, and that's why I got into law. I was looking to help people and just make the world a better place. Law makes that difficult. It's not the easiest of professions. It's quite a rough place to be, and I realized that's not the way that I'm going to help the world, and looked for something else.
And then that switch. You know, people are studying to be a director or make films or directing music videos. And that jump from a lawyer to just kicking doors open to where you're now, we're going to get to that. But, I mean, it started with directing music videos, but what introduced you to that? And when you made the decision, now I'm just going to break away and start something new?
Well, funnily enough, directing it has many facets to it. And strangely enough, I'd probably been preparing my whole life to move into directing, because there was a period in my life where I spent time learning music, learning how to play instruments, and that's a massive part of being a director. You need to be able to add sound and music to your film. So you need to have a firm understanding of major and minor notes, what's that effect that could have on a person, where to place and lay your music. Being in law, it taught me how to write. It taught me how to formulate ideas. My writing before was absolutely horrendous, but in law you have to know exactly what you want to say and say it well. And that was an experience in just getting that down. At school, I used to cut videos. I used to edit videos together. So through all these little parts in my life, even though I didn't go to film school per se, there were different ways of learning these skills. And then obviously I spent very late nights on my own while being a lawyer, just teaching myself these skills. I saw something that I wanted to do and wanted to be. And after work, I would go home, I'd read books, I'd watch YouTube videos. I mean, you can learn absolutely anything with YouTube videos. And what I did then is I started to make music videos while still being a lawyer. I then moved into some commercials, and that's essentially been my film school, is music video and commercials.
Let's talk about the short film A Moment, and I want to get to the Bolt X, but that's my next question. So, you know, this will resonate with audiences, but it's like a Mexican standoff. I saw the trailer for it. I was on your website. I looked at your other work. It's just fascinating. I really want to motivate people to go onto your website, just the ads and music videos. It's just phenomenal what you do, the shots you get.
Thank you.
So tell us about A Moment.
So A Moment was born out of the ability to use the Bolt X, which I suppose we will get to now, and the need to prove to myself and the rest of the world that I can tell a story. There's a big difference between making a commercial and making a film and telling a narrative story. And having not gone to film school, I needed to just get that behind my belt. At film school, you get the opportunity to make plenty of short films. And while I've directed plenty of work and noodled around, I needed to make something strong. So the idea was to get a good team together and to make something very, very short, but strong, about a minute and a half long, and be able to present that so I could say to people, here we go, here's something that is solid, and fortunately we've done very well being nominated for awards overseas and winning some awards overseas.
And what is the Baltics? I saw the pictures. Is it just technology? Just tell us about this camera. I see the camera.
The Baltics, as you can see right over there, it's an absolute incredible piece of equipment. There's only 4 of them in the world.
Sure.
Los Angeles, Atlanta, London, and thankfully Johannesburg. And what the Baltics is it's essentially a robotic arm, the same robotic arm that you would see in car manufacturing plants that help to manufacture cars. And this thing can move, as you can see there, a camera absolutely anywhere you want it to be. And what you do is you formulate a shot and you sit, and it takes a long time. This took days and days of preparation to get right, but you will essentially, inside a computer, calculate where the camera will be. And this thing can do everything from pulling focus to zooming, panning, tilting. It can do absolutely anything, and it can move up to 120 kilometers per hour. Now,
Sure.
our short ended up being a minute and 30 seconds, but the actual time that it takes to complete the movement was just around about 10 seconds. We obviously shot in slow-mo, but in 10 seconds, the entire shot was done. And then at a replay, you got something at about a minute 30.
And now, that's my question. There's a balance between the actor that you used, the narrating of the short film, but if you can see yourself as a judge, what was the breakthrough that you think they decided to make this the winner?
So I think telling stories visually it's not easy. You need to be able to see what you're going to be able to get, what the final product will be. And this is called a one-er. A one-er is essentially a shot which has no cuts in it. It goes and there's no edits. There you saw there's an edit right there. And that's a little cheat that we're able to do in films, is to cut through things. But in real life, we see in one-ers. And they're incredibly difficult to do because lighting has to be perfect, and to keep a camera moving perfectly for a long period of time is difficult. Now you get some one-ers which are just kind of fancy and they're just to impress people. And then you get one-ers that hopefully serve the story. And with this, the objective was to do a one-er where we were able to serve the story. And the story is essentially to grab the audience's attention and through bite-sized little pieces slowly reveal that there is something wrong, till the point where we reveal that this is actually a Mexican standoff and a big fight is about to go down.
And what is next? What is for the future? A full film? What's your dream?
Absolutely. This was all in preparation for a full feature film. I have 2 scripts written, ready to go. So we're busy working on those, and hopefully we'll be talking again soon with my next feature.
That would be great. And just about awards, because it's not just this award. You worked your name, you're famous in the industry all over the world. I mean, it's a lot of countries. But what does it mean personally for you to be recognized, and does it help your career? Because it's still on your CV and it's really impressive.
So a few things on that. First of all, it's incredible. It feels really, really good. I've only been doing this, having done law before, I've only been doing this for 2.5 years. But off my first, the first video I directed, we were already nominated. And I have been very fortunate to be picking up awards locally and internationally since then. So it means a lot, and it helps the profile. And it's probably helped me go from a lawyer and having done nothing to this point. So it absolutely does help. But at the end of the day, I think it's more about achieving the goals that you set out for and putting a strong product out there. Awards feel good, but so long as that you can make something that you're proud of, I think that's the most important thing. And I think one last thing just to add on to that is I think it's good for the country. I think it's very important for South African filmmakers to not only be telling local stories, which is very, very important. We mustn't be copying overseas and trying to do what they do in terms of stories. We have our own stories. We have great stories here. But what I think we do need to do is we need to be aiming internationally. We didn't create cinema, but we can certainly perfect it down here. And I think we can shoot above our weight, and we can do as well as the Americans and win awards overseas and be able to create content which is of an international quality. And that's my goal, and I think it should be the goal of all other South African filmmakers.
Yeah, Robert, not a lot of guys go from the Luries to Los Angeles, so well done, and can't wait for that full feature film. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the Afrikaans community. You guys are so supportive of local filmmakers and filmmaking in general. Thank you very much for having me on, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Great stuff. So jy moet maak jy moeite so 'n bietjie vanoggend. Robert Dos Santos gaan na sy webblad toe gaan kyk sommer hierdie kortfilm en ook van die ander werk wat hy gedoen het. En dit wys jou net, nee, jou lewe kan totaal en al verander van wat jy vandag doen en wat jy kan doen môre. Kom ons gaan groei.